Hey there, and welcome to my kitchen. Today, I'm going to take you through the process that I use to make my PCOS weekly meal plans. This is just a very quick and simple tutorial. If you are not planning ahead for your meals, you're stressing yourself out. And meal planning doesn't have to be something that's super complicated or where you decide you're going to use all brand new recipes that are healthier or better. Simply starting with planning ahead for what you're going to eat during the week is a huge step forward in cleaning up your PCOS nutrition in a stress-free way that makes sense for you. So let's just get started. The first step is I get a binder, and I recommend tabs and even getting the plastic sleeves, because what you're going to do is you're gonna make a quick list of all your simple, brainless crowd pleasers. This is a concept I got from Kendra Adachi at the Lazy Genius podcast. Anyway, what she recommends is always having a list of recipes that are your brainless crowd pleasers. And those are things you know your family likes to eat and that you like to eat, that you feel very comfortable cooking. That doesn't mean they have to be fast or easy, but to you, you feel very comfortable cooking them. It's not a stretch. So those are the two main requirements for easy crowd pleasers. So I print all of mine out because I'm a big food blog fan, but I don't like to hold my phone while I'm cooking. And also having them all printed out keeps them in the front of your mind when you're meal planning, because you can sit here and have them right here instead of kind of scrolling through the internet and getting distracted. Plus, having your recipes printed out will be a huge help when it comes to actually making your grocery list. So I have mine separated on kind of just the style of cooking. So I have like a soup section, a slow cooker section, a one pot meal section, a grilling section, so that I can quickly kind of flip through. So that is the first and most important part, is I want you to print out or write out all of the recipes that you know the people in your life like and that you feel very comfortable cooking. Now, whether or not they are the perfect PCOS plate is not the point when you're starting out with meal planning. The first thing is to get the things that you are comfortable with, and if you need to upgrade your nutrition, which we can talk about in another video, you can slowly add in new recipes as you get comfortable with them. But you wanna have this stack with you right before you get started. The next step is I want you to get out either a piece of paper, or I like to use a marker board, and I want you to come up with a weekly rotation. So what I mean when I say that is every day of the week, I have a category of what I'm going to eat. Not exactly the same thing, but I say on Sundays, and this is just for the winter, I change it up in the summer. On Sundays, I make a big pot of soup. On Mondays, I make something in my slow cooker. On Tuesdays, we have like a healthy build your own pizza place that we take the kids out to. So I know I'm doing that on Tuesdays because kids eat free on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, I always make a one pot meal on my stove. On Thursdays, we eat leftovers. And on Fridays and Saturdays, I like to leave them as wild card days. Usually my husband and I will decide what we want that day, because it's like Friday or Saturday, you want to do something more fun. We usually wait till the kids are in bed, and if we feel like cooking, we cook. Lately though, what we've been doing is ordering Sunbasket, which is a meal delivery service that brings already cooked, really yummy, I would say better than takeout quality meals to our house. The prices we find are less expensive than ordering out. The food is generally healthier, and so then that is what we've been doing, and we've been finding that that works really well for us. It's a bit of a luxury, but since we don't go out to eat a lot, that's kind of like our date night right now, is like opening up the Sunbasket after the kids go to bed and like eating a nice meal that's already cooked for us. Okay, so now you come up with a weekly rotation, something similar to mine. You can divide it out by your food ethnic groups. Like if you want to do Thai Tuesdays or Taco Tuesdays, that's fine. You can divide it out by cooking type, which is what I find most helpful. You could also divide it out maybe by like type of protein you're eating. So like maybe Monday is grass-fed beef day, and Tuesday is fish day, and Wednesday is chicken. But come up with something to give you a structure. That way you're not coming to every day of the week with an endless amount of options. Okay, because like right now, I know I'm gonna make a pot of soup on Sunday. So I have like 4 soup recipes that are like my brainless crowd pleasers. I'm gonna pick one and just write it down for this week. And I'm in the mood for kale and sausage soup. So boom, we got that. All right, now I said Monday is my slow cooker day. I work from home on Mondays, so I just set up the slow cooker in the morning and I'm around all day. So I'm gonna go to my slow cooker section. And I want to do chicken and apricots with dates. Now, I like when I'm looking for slow cooker or Instant Pot recipes, I search dump and go is the expression usually used. So these are just recipes where literally you just throw the ingredients in the pot, you shut it, and you turn it on. There's no like sauteing onions or doing any prep like that. It's kind of just you throw it in and you go for it. Okay, so we said Tuesdays is our pizza day, so we're good. Okay, Wednesday, I do like a skillet or a 1-pot meal. So I'm gonna go to that section, which is right here. And I'm gonna do chicken and bok choy stir fry. All right, Thursday is leftovers. So let's talk about leftovers. I never cook just 1 serving of a meal. I always cook double. So on Sunday, I'm gonna make about 8 to 12 servings of soup instead of like the 4 we would need. And here's why. I eat leftover dinner from the night before for lunch every day so that I don't have to think about my lunch. And then I freeze half of everything I make and put it in our deep freezer in the garage so that I have a wide variety of choices on leftover day to shop from. So whatever we're in the mood for on Thursday is good. I just know it's coming out of our freezer. Okay, so we have leftovers, that's done. And always like check your freezer to make sure you do have leftovers. Sometimes you do run out and that's a bad surprise. And then Friday and Saturday, like I said, those are our wild card days, and we're using Sunbasket right now. Okay, so boom, weekly meal plan is done. So the rotation that I set up, the weekly rota for the winter, which is soup Sundays, slow cooker Mondays, pizza Tuesdays, 1-pot Wednesdays, leftover Thursdays, and wild card Friday and Saturdays, really limits my choices. So I'm not spending a ton of time deciding what recipe I have. The printed out glossary I have of my brainless crowd pleasers, I did not think I'd have this many when I first took on this project. I just sat down with a pen and paper and wrote like every recipe I could kind of think of in my brain that I was really comfortable making, even if I had to look it up again on the internet. And then as I was doing that, I came up with like 5 or 6 more. And so don't feel like you overwhelmed by this project. It can be like something that grows and is iterative. And also, like I said, as you start upgrading recipes, if you decide like, oh, well, you know, I found a healthier way to make this dish, you can just swap out the recipe, but you just want to keep your index right here. Now, another reason why it is so important to have your recipes printed out, in my opinion, is it makes it a lot easier to pick up your phone, which is something I will do once I'm done recording on it, and make a grocery list on your notes. Or in my case, I like to use Instacart or order ahead from Kroger and just do a pickup. Most grocery stores now have a program where you can do free or low cost pickup. And I think that this is extremely helpful for those of us that are trying to save time and dial in on our nutrition and save money. Because if you're not walking into the grocery store, you're unlikely to make those impulse purchases that might be for something that isn't part of your food plan, or maybe isn't really budget friendly, or just is completely unnecessary. So I have found that ordering ahead on the app is faster because it tends to save your usual like pantry staples in a list. So I can just shop the things that I've bought already, and that's usually kind of like makes it even faster. And also it keeps you from kind of like looking at foods that you would normally purchase and making that impulse buy. Plus, you know, you don't have to go into the grocery store, which I have 2 little kids, so like I never want to do that. I never want to take them in. It takes 20 times as long. I get distracted and I forget something on my list every single time. So having your ingredients printed out on paper makes this process so much easier, right? You have your phone right here. You have your ingredient list literally right here, and you just go down. And so do this in your kitchen so you can go and check and make sure that you don't already have the ingredient that you need. But then I would just place my order and I'm ready to go. I'm done. What was that? Maybe 5-10 minutes. And it removes this stress of having decision fatigue about what you're going to eat every single night. It also helps you think ahead so that you can make things easier on yourself. And it takes the pressure off of making these big fancy meal plans that I see where like a well-meaning nutritionist or dietitian likes to recommend like detailed recipes for you, which is great, but they don't really know your life. So this is a simple way to get started on planning ahead, and which will automatically help with your food budget, with your nutrition and your stress levels, all things that are great for just improving your life and living better. Now, I'm gonna talk to you really quickly about eating or living with picky eaters, like small children, for instance, or maybe you have like a grumpy partner. So if this doesn't apply to you, you know, just hit subscribe and like and jump off right here. But so I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they eat a lot of healthy foods, but they're really limited. And if I just cooked things that only they would be interested in, my husband and I would go crazy because our food choices would be very boring and limited. My solution is not to cook stuff that just they like. I feed my kids dinner, or what I call first dinner, at 4 p.m. Most moms will know when your kid comes home, they just start from school, they just start eating. And they like eat and eat and eat and eat, and sometimes they're still hungry by dinner time. I've kind of gotten rid of the after school long snacking by giving them a full, well-balanced meal that I know they're going to like at 3:30, 4 o'clock. Then when we sit down to dinner at like normal grown-up time dinner at about 5 o'clock or maybe 5:30, I offer them the opportunity to try new foods, the foods that I've cooked. And 9 times out of the 10, they don't like it. And that's just part of like life with kids. They need to try things a lot before they decide that they like the taste of them. But it gives them the opportunity to sit with mom and dad if they want to. They get to try something new. They take their no thank you bite. If they don't like it, that's fine. They can move on to, we usually give them a fruit flavored popsicle just so that they like sit still while we're eating. But I don't have to like force feed them because they had that really nutritious meal at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I know that they're probably not really that hungry, and they'll tell me if they're truly hungry. And they don't really need to eat. So whatever they kind of nibble on their more grown-up fancy dinner plate, and you know, that fruit popsicle, they're good for, you know, they're good until the morning. So that is my recommendation to all of you moms out there who are living with kids that don't appreciate your home cooked meals yet, is just to get the nutrition in their bodies, and then separate the trying to expose them to new foods. So it's 2 different experiences. After school, you load them up with the foods you know they'll like to eat that are good for them. And then at dinner time, you give them the chance to try new things so that eventually they become adults who like more than just chicken and peas, which is what my kids love to eat, believe it or not. Okay. So if you want more in real life tips from me on how I do things to manage my PCOS and thrive, please hit like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best thing you can do to support me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.